Okay, blessed be Yahweh, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy set apart name. In Yeshua, the true and living word, I shall be confident. In Yeshua, the true and living word, the Father shall be glorified. So, I had a video up a few minutes ago that was I was just wanting to share. It's called Something Interesting, but this one is something to share so that it's different so you can tell which video is different. But this is the continuing of the first one called Something Interesting. So I was just referring to Genesis 4, chapter 4, verses 8, and Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And basically, Cain rose up against Abel and slew his brother. In other words, killed his brother. So something rose up in him, okay? And I want to read John chapter 8, verse 44 in reference to what I just read in Genesis 4. And it says, and let's go up to verse 42 of John chapter 8. And Yasha said to them, if Ahiah were your father, you would love me, for I proceeded and came from Ahiah. I did not come of my own accord, but he sent me. Now notice he said, if you were of the father. Now within the seed of the woman, there is a split, just like you saw twins with Jacob and Esau. In the twins, the promise is going to be an inheritance of the blessing is going to be divided by the children of the promise through the seed of Abraham versus the children of the wicked one coming out of Abraham, which is a child of flesh. Okay. And so we can even see that also that Abraham had two children, which was one was Ishmael and one was Isaac. However, Ishmael represents the child of bond child. It represents the child of the flesh. Okay. Something that came out of the will of man. And I think there's so much like revelation in that alone on how the Father didn't even acknowledge. I mean, more than what we as, on an average level can comprehend. And what I'm trying to say is the Father has done something. When he first created man, man was made according to the image of him, which was his word. But after the eye was aware or open to the knowledge of evil, the image of the Father it's like the man creation was not the same anymore. And so by him sending his son, we can see that he's redeeming back that dominionship, redeeming back that place of eternal being in a pure state. And so I just want to continue to read out of John chapter 8. And it says in verse 42, Yahshua said to them, if Ahiah were your father, you would love me, for I proceed and came from my father. I did not come of my own accord, but he sent me. Why therefore do you not understand my word? Because you cannot obey my word? You are from the, I don't like this version. Samuel from the Father. Okay, I'll read it in the Aramaic and then I'll read it out of KJ. It says, you are from the father of accusation and you want to do the lust of your father. Now, the other versions will say, you are of your father, the devil, for he was a murderer from the beginning. And this is that accusation and murder is an extreme differences here. But, it's quite interesting that in most versions of the KJV, it says murderer, because you think about back over here, who was the first one that murdered? It was Cain. Well, actually, it's like this. The serpent brought forth death. So he implemented murder by willingness. So he introduced knowledge that brought forth death to Eve that she had to be in agreement with. She wouldn't have been able to partake upon that covenant of death lest she would have agreed and hearkened to the temptation of death. Okay. So back to verses 43. He says, why therefore do you not understand my word? Now, he's questioning the Pharisees and the leaders, right, that were coming to him and asking questions and saying stuff about over here in verse 39, they answered saying to him, our own father is Abraham. Yasha said to them, if you were the sons of Abraham, you would be doing the works of Abraham. But behold, now you want to kill me, even a man who has told you the truth, which I heard from Ahiah. This Abraham did not do. So he basically was identifying that you want to kill me. He's like, y'all want to destroy the word, but you say that you're a child of Abraham. Now they didn't perceive that's what they were doing. They didn't see that was their intentions. They thought they were all the well justified with their evil hearts of questioning. And he says in verse 40, but behold, now you want to kill me, even a man who has told you the truth, which I heard from Ahiah. This Abraham did not do, but you do the works of your father. They said to him, we are not born of fornication. We have one father. That's Ahiah. Now, notice it says one in this translation. I don't know if it says one in the KJV. Let me get the KJV open. But don't that one father basically sound like they coming from a place of there ain't nobody else but the Most High? It's like a anti-Messiah mindset. Because this is another reason why they were denying him. He's simply telling them, I'm the son of the Most High. I was sent from above. They're like, no, you're not. You just some crazy. In other words, they was probably trying to call him a false prophet. You know? Okay. So John 8, what was we at? 40, 41? Somebody saying 41. It says, ye do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one father, even Ahiah. So they basically saying our only father is the Father of the Most High. So they're arguing with him, basically saying that they are of the Father of the Most High. Well, it's like this. How are you going to deny the Son of the Most High, who say he's the Son of the Most High, but then to only say, oh, you just the son of Joseph, but yet in the same breath say your father is the Most High. You only had one father, denying your eternal Father, earthly fathers, when you ain't doing the works that Yeshua was doing. This is really interesting to me. All right. So let's go back to John chapter 8, looking over here at he said 44, you are from the father of accusation. So look at 44 in the KJV. It says, you are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar, and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. So he's telling them, you're the children of lies. You're the children of deception. Just like the character that came on him earlier, named Chris so-and-so. It never ceases to amaze me how Esau seems to always show their fruit of who they are in the mannerism of in them so-called being Christians. You ask them who the real Son of the Most High look like, they're gonna come up with all kinds of excuses, or we're all the seed of Abraham and all this inclusion stuff, but not according to Scripture. And then when you come to truth, what happens? That's like what Yasha experienced in the same chapter. They seek to hurt you. They seek to kill you. They hate you. The same way these people in this chapter were responding to Yeshua is the same way you will see experience, responses from people either on the internet or in your by and by. So I wanted to share how Yasha basically said, you are of your father, the devil, and he was a murderer from the beginning. So who was a murderer in the beginning, everyone? Cain. Keep that note in your mind. Let's go back to Genesis. Okay. Let me open it here too, because I like to have two different, just Aramaic. And I just keep reflecting on how the Father said, like earlier when we was reading, he said, labor for the meat that, labor not for the meat that perisheth, right? But labor for the meat that's like everlasting. In other words, make sure, now notice labor talks about works. Now you get the precept for faith without works is dead. So your faith need to be backed by the works of labor, or, the works that lead you to eternal life. So in other words, doing rehearsing the righteous acts that show you prove that will, that good and perfect will of the Most High, that you have obtained life, because those who have obtained life don't live the way those who are dead live. Okay, so I just want to share that. Okay, so I'm gonna try to read Genesis 4 out of the Aramaic. All right, so let's start back at 8. So it said, and Cain said to Abel his brother, let us go into the plain. And it came to pass that they were in the field, and that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. And Ahiah said to Cain, where is Abel your brother? So not only did he kill, so it's like this: covetousness led to envy, led to murder, led to pride. Because when the father said here, Cain, where is your is Abel your brother? And he said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? He came back with sarcasm. He came back in a proud response. And Ahiah said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out for me from the ground. That was the opportunity for him to confess and tell the truth. And from henceforth you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the ground, it shall no more yield to you its strength. A fugitive and a wanderer shall you be on the earth. Now, let's read on. And Cain said to Ahiah, my transgression is too great for me to be too great to be forgiven. Oh, y'all, the Aramaic says, Cain saying, my transgression is too great to be forgiven. He says, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the land, and from thy face shall I be hidden, and I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. And it shall come to pass that whosoever finds me shall slay me. So he understood the principle of reaping, which sowing what you reaped. Remember, he was a tiller of the ground. So in the very place where he shed blood, it spoke against him. The very thing that he was a keeper of became defiled. Remember the scripture that says that the land cannot be cleansed if the blood be shed, unless it be cleansed by the blood of him who shed it. So he basically just said here is, my transgression is too great to be forgiven. And other translation that says it's too great for me to bear. And if anybody will see me, they will slay me, right? And so here we read verse 15. And Ahiah said to him, it shall not be so. Whoever slays Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Ahiah set a mark upon Cain, so that anyone who may find him may not kill him. Now, think about this, a mark on him, that he would not be killed. One must wonder what that mark is. Could it be the mark of man? When you think about the mark of the beast, and then when you see the beast and mentioned in the prophecies of Daniel being played out, it's talking about rulers of kingdoms. And the rulers of these kingdoms, within those kingdoms, Edom is ruling. But it doesn't just matter what nation it was other nations as well. However, who was the main face behind them? The serpent, who said, you will be like gods. And in those different kingdoms of rulership, it was gods set up. Okay, so what I wanted to share was, okay, I got Genesis 15, Genesis 4:15. Let's look at Jeremiah 49:7 through 10 and check and just kind of compare the similarities of Cain to Esau. All right, because I saw something really interesting there. I'm just like, one must water. And just like the other day, I had a video of, I believe it was my brother Born said, he was like, just like Cain was firstborn, so was Edom. And the boat, Edom, he said, actually Edomed. Now you look at who has the same heart and mindset towards their brother like Cain had to Abel. Now, Abel was received on the Most High because he not only gave the best, but he gave, you could tell his heart was cheerful with it. And you can see that Cain gave what he wanted to give. So the attitude that Esau had in what good is this birthright is the same attitude that Cain had with what I gotta give you the best for, Most High. I'm starting to see some similarities, family. Jeremiah 49. Let's get it. Bear with me, y'all. I'm in my little mini K. I'm in my little bed study one. My little mini KJV. My little. This thing hold me down. Because you know, laying in the bed, you won't have no big book with you. All right, Genesis 49, verses 7 through 10. All right, so it says, the Most High's message against Edom. Concerning Edom, thus saith Ahijah of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaming grapes? If these by night, they will destroy till they have enough. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. Sounds like a mark. He said, I'm going to put a mark on you. If you're not reading with the right mindset, you would think, well, that's not fair. Why shouldn't he be able to be killed the same way he killed his brother? It would look like he's not being chastised or punished because he told, the Most High told him 7 times more will somebody get if they slay him. But the point is this: the Father will allow a person to be tormented. Because also it says in the word that, and I believe in Apocrypha concerning, like, they find it strange when the righteous, let me see, is it somewhere in the Esdras? Let me see. Oh, wait, this is the book of Jubilees. Somewhere it says in Esdras that concerning the righteous when they be taken out, it could be, you know, I'm not sure where it's at, but I know, let me see, chapter 7. You know what's something I just saw that was really spoke out to me is I just saw like a little script line that said Abraham prayed for the Sodomites. I think remember he was asking the Most High if it was someone righteous in the land, would you destroy? I don't believe he honestly was praying for the Sodomites. I believe he was praying for any that be amongst. I think he's praying for the victims of the Sodomites and praying for his nephew Lot because he lived out there. Because when you see something like that, praying for the Sodomites, then that's in turn going to be why you get Christian Agenda Today pushing this. You're supposed to pray for the Sodomites and stuff like that. And the Most High show you his attitude towards the Sodomites. He straight destroyed that place. Okay. But I don't know where it said. It could be somewhere in the Apocrypha, like it's saying in the Apocrypha where it says that they don't consider that the righteous be taken out for they can be spared from destruction or something like that. In other words, like Abel, that happening to Abel was unfortunate. It was wrong. But guess what? What spoke in his life? He might not have lived long, but while he did live, what speak on behalf of him? His obedience. If it go to show you from the beginning, after the knowledge of evil being revealed and opening one's eyes, that the righteousness will truly be hated. That those who walk uprightly and do what is required of them will be hated and wanting to be killed. As Yeshua was saying in John chapter 8, he said, why do you seek to kill me? He said, is it because you of your father the devil? Meanwhile, they trying to tell you their father is the father above. This is how conjured up psychotic some people really are, where like in Christianity and other forms of deception, that they really be thinking that they serving the Most High. And they into all kinds of satanic stuff. They don't find it strange and foreign that they doing these custom traditional rituals that ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. You know, I just wanted to share it. So let's go back to Jeremiah 49 because I don't think I finished all of it. Wait, did I shut my Bible? All right, Jeremiah 49. Okay, so did I finish it? So he said, okay, verse 10. So he said, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. And you would think, brethren, is that talking about Jacob? No, I believe it's talking about like the tribes that come out of Edom. Just like Jacob, out of Jacob came many. Out of Edom, he lay with different women and, his son's progenitor like that. You see what I'm saying? So he said he will not be able to hide himself. It sounds similar to also what the father said to Cain about, I'm going to put a mark on you. In other words, anybody seeing you, they're going to understand you're a marked man. And I believe the mark was Most High laying him aside for his own vengeance. Just like how if for all the wicked who have slain the righteous from the beginning unto the end, he said, now will I avenge the righteous for their blood. Like you read in the book of Revelation, right? Let's get that. Revelation, I believe it's, what is it, chapter 6? Hold up. Okay, let me try to put my little pinky there before I can keep that spot. All right, yeah, it's Revelation 6. We're gonna come over here around to say the sixth seal, starting at verses 12, and it says, "And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earth." Wait, no, I'm sorry, I went too far. All right, the fifth seal. Pardon me, sorry. Starting actually at verses 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Ahiah. Souls that were slain, right? Of them that were slain for the word, okay, and for the testimony which they held. Word and testimony. It goes well with Revelation 14. Okay, 14. Wait, or is it 14, 12? Okay, it says, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Ahiah and faith of Yeshua. So that's the same as the testimony, okay, and the word, all right? Because Yeshua is the word, and the testimony is the revelation of the prophets concerning the word. All right. So it says, verse 10, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Most High, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood? So they're asking, when are you going to avenge? So those that are, let me show you something. What did he say over there in Ezekiel 9:4 or 4:9? I always get them too confused. 4:9, 9:4. Let's see. Let's just go there. Why not, right? He said, put a mark on the ones who sigh and cry for the abominations. Mom? So their mark wasn't a kind of mark of destruction.
Did her door locked? It means she's playing the game.
Pardon me. Where's her number in? I know you're not on that game. Okay. All right. Well, you should have made me call you then. Well, you should have said, Mom, that's not true, and intervene. Okay. Love you. Bye. Ezekiel. So basically what he said in Ezekiel 9:4 was, or 4:9, let me see. Put a mark on those who sigh and cry for the abomination. So they go to show you what kind of prayer also that Abraham was given of. Because remember, the Most High told Abraham, the cries of Sodom have come up to me. And now I'm going down to visit, destroy. Whenever he says cry, that means the response to the oppression, abuse, the bloodshed, and so forth and so on. So when you read in Revelation chapter, I'm going to a lot of places in one. Be quiet, lady. I want to hear that. You ain't saying thus saith, you need to be quiet. Hold on, y'all. Okay, Ezekiel, I got it. Hold on. And you need a spiritual doctor. You find a helicopter. Let me see, 9:4. Yeah. It's Ezekiel 9:4. Yep. Ezekiel 9:4. So that's where he said, put a mark on them who cry and sigh for the abomination thereof. But he said, and the others in my hearing slay utterly. He said, slay them. Now the mark was in this context was basically sealing. You asked me that this morning, and what were you found doing? Were you found doing what you said you was gonna do?
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna do it.
Okay, I forgive you. Here you go. If I find otherwise, it's gonna be a consequence. And you be in your bed while you're doing it. Go ahead, Zion, in the bed.
Okay, Mommy.
Love y'all. Turn out that bright light in that kitchen. Give me a kiss. Thank you. Always give me some sugar. Some sugar. All right. So when you look at Revelation chapter 6, and it say, fifth seal. Okay, verses 10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Most High, holy and true, doest thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Don't that sound like the earth is given to the hands of the wicked, and then the holy city will be turned up around the foot to the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled? So they have a time. And also, don't it sound like, and the woe unto the inhabitants of the earth, for the devil has come on down to you, knowing he only had but a little while, but a short while. So, in other words, there's time allotted to the wicked to do their wickedness. Then they will be judged, and the blood of the righteous will be avenged. The souls of the righteous will be avenged. He showed us this all throughout his word. So right now, who can we think of who said in the scriptures, I said to my brother, he said in his heart, I will slay my brother. Right? Zion, can you put Bible scriptures on y'all TV? Bible things on there. Go ahead. He's gonna put it on the TV.
No, you do it, please. Just type it in there. I can't.
All right. So Esau said in his heart that he was going to slay his brother Jacob. So there goes that same spirit that arose in Cain. That's showing you who his father was. Because Yahshua said in John 8 that you do the lust of your father. And he also said he was a liar, the father of lies. Well, who else is a liar on this earth that we can identify with, brothers and sisters? Esau. They'll come on and tell you the Most High revealed himself to them, and they life haven't been the same, and all this and the jazz. Same old devil. Same old devil. Tell you your fruit rotten. Oh, beautiful. What did it say in the Aramaic? He said that in John 8, it says in my translation that you are accuser, the brother, the child of the accuser. That's what it said, the child of the accuser. Who accuses the brethren? The doggone wicked one. What it tell you? So yeah, family. So far, that's what I have been investigating right there. Just I'm seeing some similarities between Esau and Cain, and it go to show you that though Esau came out of Rebecca, though Cain came out of Eve, who was they identifying themselves to be? Children of the wicked one. Telling you. The father said concerning Edom, two manner of people. It's nothing to take for light, family. I'm trying to help brothers and sisters out there that may be a little bit on a come see, come saw way of thinking when it comes to dealing with Esau. Thinking that there's a chance for him and that he is someone to be trusted and that he's your friend. How about this for consideration? Let's get my nails done today. And in the salon, they had up on the news talking about Black History Month. And then they put up on the news how HBCUs, about I think like 13 of them had bomb threats. Then shortly after that, there was another school that had a shooter, but yet he was captured. For concerning the HBCU schools bomb threats, it's under investigation. You mean to tell me? Oh wait, who is he? White nationalists, what do they call themselves? Nationalists. In other words, Edomites, they're for the nation of Edom. Those who are aware of their nation of being Edom. They want to take it upon themselves and come over here to the gathering of majority of the children of Jacob and set off some bombs. That's why I try to tell my brothers and sisters that you come together under the pretense without the covering of the king, you don't have protection. See, Mount Zion is supposed to be protected by the Most High. He's supposed to be the fire round about us. These HBCUs, they talking about something acknowledging Black History Month. To the Father, you're in rebellion. And the reason I say you're in rebellion is because they think, well, what's the matter with us recognizing the greatness of our history? First of all, we're not Black. As long as if somebody says to you, you know good and darn well, you didn't steal nothing. And they say, you know what, we got some charges for you. These charges tell us that you so-and-so, and you're like, no, that's not me. But before they tell you, ask you your name, they be like, we got these charges for so-and-so. You like, what? I ain't do that like that. I ain't do that. They be like, your name so-and-so, ain't it? If that's not your name, then why you agree to it? But soon you agree to it, then everything that apply to that belong to you. Understand there's no inheritance. There's no redeemer, no savior, no help, no power for the Black people, because the Black people are something that was made. Like the Father said, let us make man in our image. Man was made according to his word, because in the beginning was the word. So man that identify with the title of Black, you have been made in the image of Edom. Esau gave that identification and image to our people. And when you agree to that, all the charges that come with that, police brutality, all the curses of Deuteronomy and so forth and so on, will be applied to you because you stepping out of your name. With your name comes respect, Jacob. It's another reason why they play with his name. Because what did the Father say to those he revealed? I am the husbandman of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He did not say I'm the husbandman of the Black people. He didn't say that. Now, the so-called Black people, so-called, are the children of Jacob and the Native Americans and Hispanics, Taino Indians. With these bywords that the oppressors have given them so that the name of Jacob can be no more in remembrance. And what comes with Jacob? The promise and the election, the adoption, the service, the blessings, and the covenants. Not to mention land, which falls under promise. So this is why it just hurt my heart to see that. Notice When they tell you under investigation, that's about as far as and let me tell you something about how nasty they are on the news. The wicked ones, everybody knows by now. If you woke, semi-woke, you should know this. That they continually kept playing it. Then they showed Tom Brady about to go on retirement. Now I think it's quite interesting how they don't went with Antonio Brown, Kyrie Irving, different brothers, athletes who have been in opposition to the propaganda concerning transhumanism. Yet here it is. Isn't it really convenient how Brady is getting ready to be able to retire? And I guess they're not going to be able to force upon him the same thing they're trying to force on these brothers. That's just what I saw. I didn't just hear, and you got Stephen Coon A. Smith talking about how Brady, I mean, just singing the praises of Brady, playing the violin. Yet he will dog and trash mouth his own, but over here praising, tap dancing with the top hat and the cane for Esau. And they kept showing that. And then when it showed the Chinese New Year, laughing and kiki, it's interesting. And you know what I'm saying? But when it came to, let's give Jacob their sect, it was, we're going to keep playing it. There's bomb threats to HBCUs. So if there's any out there that's sleep, that may think I can go to college, let them cross that out their mind. Let them know you're not even safe when you're getting higher education. No, brothers and sisters from the nation of Jacob, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians and Tainos. No, you are not safe in anything that Esau has set up. The only thing that's going to be safe for you is if you receive the king who was a redeemer. He died for his people. When you look at the scriptures in Isaiah 60, let's look at that. Right? He made it, he was very specific in who he wanted to set free, who the Spirit of the Most High was upon him for. He made it clear, and I just don't leave no excuses for any petty-minded, yes, a boss mindset that helps. They want to bring their slave master with them. And he's not, the slave master's not going into the land. I'm sorry to break it to you. I'll be glad to break it to you. Let's go to Isaiah 60. Wait, that's 6. I need 61, y'all. Okay, it says, the spirit of Ahiah is upon me, because I have anointed me to and sent me to preach good tidings to the meek. Okay, not the know-it-alls, not the prouds, not the I got my degrees, PhDs, and I got my theologian degrees. That ain't me. Not my not my, I know 4 years of Hebrew and you can't teach me nothing. The translation of this and this and that. That's not meek. Not the, and the Bible says, that's not meek. Why can he not deal with those kind of people? Because guess what? Before they can even hear truth, they're going to have to acknowledge everything they thought they ever knew was nothing but falsehood. And that, my dears, is hard for a lot of people to, that's the drinking, that's the bitter that goes down with the scroll. That's the bitter. That's the humbling. That's the breakdown, who the rock has fallen upon. That's the dying of the one corn so that it can be many more. That's the necessary process. Check it out. To bind up the brokenhearted. Now, what people are brokenhearted? I ain't talking about everybody. There's a nation of brokenhearted people. It don't matter where they go. Their hearts are let down. They are denied. And it's been this way for generations and generations. Because the king also warned his disciples, and they said, tell us the signs of the end. And he said to him, the king said, there'll be wars and rumors of war. He said, then you're going to be lifted up hated by all nations. Now, how could that apply to all people? Does all nations hate all nations? It doesn't. He was talking to his people. He was giving his people identifying markers of how they would be able to identify with the end times. He didn't say, like how most Christians translate it, and he's gonna it's gonna be disasters, and and he's gonna crack the sky and the trumpet. They shoot straight to that. They overlook the part of people being lifted up and hated by all nations. They can't, those prophecies is mentioned all through the prophets. And they stay, and the way they're able to stay away from them is because they're not teaching that. They're teaching the promises and giving you stories with a fabricated breakdown according to their understanding in that life. Inspirational, feel-good speech to get that money out your pocketbook and your wallet. So he says, and to proclaim liberty to captives and release the two prisoners. Now, when he said to them, I come to deliver, right? And it was like, and John, oh, we don't be nobody's bondsman. He said, but you are a slave, a servant to whom you serve. You serve sin, you a servant to sin. But yet he didn't hold this standard of sin to everybody, because he told his people not to serve the other gods. He didn't tell other people, hey, other people, don't serve your gods. He told his people not to serve other gods round about you. He said, and release the prisoners, right? To proclaim the acceptable year of Ahiah and the day of, it says in this one, salvation, but the day of vengeance of our Father, to comfort all that mourn, to give to them who mourn, to the mourners of Zion. Of Zion. That ain't he so loved the whole wide earth. That's the world of Jacob. World without end. Precept. Is that 2nd Esdras chapter 6 verses 9? We was there earlier. I'm not sure. But Jacob is a world within himself. And Esau is what world? You got Disney World and Sea World. They're two different worlds. The same with Jacob and Esau. Two manners of people. Two different worlds. I'll break it down for you. You go into a restaurant with a bunch of Caucasians. Then you go to a restaurant with a bunch of brothers and sisters. It's two different worlds. It's like two different, completely different. We like hot sauce, flavor, you know what I'm saying? Slap your mama, Lowry's, Old Bay. Come on, give me that. Frank's hot sauce if you in my region. Some of y'all like Texas Pete. Some of y'all like that other stuff. But, what else? Louisiana? I don't know. But our way is Frank's. Okay. But y'all, salt, pepper, oregano. Everything, just salt, pepper. I'm like, dang. My daughter said she came up from this camp one time. She said, "That's Mom." She said, white people food was so disgusting. She said it was so nasty. She said, why you had to do that to the chicken? Excuse me. Why you had to do that to the chicken? Hey, I had to throw me 2 little cashews in real quick, y'all. Pardon me. Hold on. Just 2 little cashews real quick. All right. So he said, to those who mourn in Zion, beauty instead of ashes. Now think about it. They put on ashes when it was in the moment of mourning, right? You can see that in the story of Esther. Or all throughout the scriptures when you see here about the prophets who would throw ashes on themselves and cry out and rip and tear their garments. How are they tearing their garments because they were wearing linen? Perfume, right? Instead of mourning. A cloak of beauty instead of the spirit of heaviness. I think this is the garment of praise instead of the spirit of heaviness. That's in the KJV version. But I'm reading the Aramaic. Right. So it said the spirit of, that's that. So instead of the spirit of heaviness, they shall be called men of righteousness, children of the Most High, the planting of Ahiah, which is glorious. He said, they shall. So if the king is saying to you, I'm only sent to the lost, I'm going to give comfort to those who mourn in my nation. And he said, forget them for not what they do. Who was he talking to? Everything from the beginning, what he said to the end, all belongs to the Most High. You look at Isaiah 63, and it shows you how he feels concerning Edom. It says, who is this that comes from Edom with crimson garments from Basra? And who is glorious in his apparel? So that means in his glorious form, when he comes back, this is what he's going to be doing for Edom's sake. It says, oh, and mighty in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Why is your apparel red? And why are your garments like those of him who treads in the winepress? So I believe this is the prophet Isaiah speaking to the having a vision of the Messiah coming out of Edom. And he asked him, why your clothes look so bloody? Apparel red, and why are your garments like those of who tread in the winepress? So you would, those back in those days who was treading the winepress, the bottom of their garments would have like splats of like grape juice on it. And if you ever had real grape juice, it's like it stains, and it depending on the drying level, it will change. It can get darker. Depends on the grape you're dealing with. And it says here in verse 3, I have trodden the winepress alone. He said, ain't no others with me. And of the people, there was none with me. I have trodden them in my anger and trampled them in my fury. He said, I trampled them. Just as our people have been trampled underfoot by the Gentiles, so will our king trample you dirty dog devils. Oh, that feels so good. Come on and give him no glory. Come on and give him no glory for that thing. I got your rotten fruit, devil. No, it ain't bothering me. But I'm gonna make an example out of you. Because there's others that think like you. That for some, I guess they still watching my channel, because from the time I had rebuked over down there at torture of the devil's ministry, they've been just coming over here. They probably glancing and see what she all about. You know what I'm saying? Coming to get their conviction. That's all that is. He says, I in my anger, he said, I trampled in them in my fear, and their blood is splashed upon my garments, and I have stained all my remnant. Just think about the in that while he's stomping them. He said, I trampled. He said, their blood is, Yasha is he like, who messing with him? Who's messing with our Savior, though? Who messing with our King? He said he finna trample their blood. See, this is the Savior they don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about this one. Oh, he love everybody. He love everybody. Who blood he finna be trampling on then? Who blood finna be staining his garments then? Tell me that. Just tell me that, and we'll be all right. They ain't gonna tell you. Verse 4, he said, for the day of vengeance is in my heart, he said. It's if you are in love with the Most High, according to the word, then what's in his heart gonna be in your heart? Because you're gonna be in one with him. You're not gonna be getting dizzy out here concerning Edom. Just like they don't get confused when they don't mind keep shoving in our faces bomb threats at by 13 HBCUs. And how every time they want to report something bad, shaming, or to provoke a reaction out of Jacob on the news, just keep poking at us and poking at us and poking at us. Like they was poking at our king. Come down from there. Save yourself. He said, and I looked, and there was none to help. And I wondered, and there was none to uphold. Therefore, my own arm saved me, and my fury upheld me. So much for this. Then shall Michael stand up. What's she talking about? Go in prayer. What the Father revealed to you. And so I wondered, where are they? And I have trodden down the peoples in my anger and made them drunk in my fury. And I have brought down their strength to the earth. Why? Because what is mentioned in Isaiah 14? Enemy said, I'll be like the Most High, exalt my throne above the stars. So what Yasha said, I'm going to bring you down. Go ahead, Yasha. Oh, hell, Yeshaya. Oh, he got a reward for you, Edom. He got a reward for you. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. You know what? I'm going ahead and get out of here. It's real. We're going to continue this investigation with these similarities of Esau and Cain. If you gain tea, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. Or should I say, gain more scriptures? Add to this investigation of our similarities between Esau and Cain? Feel free to share it. Feel free to share it. And we will do a video on that. Consider, just breaking that down, sharing with that. But that's it for tonight, family. It's time for me to relax. It's 10 o'clock. I had a long day. I'm ready for me to relax, put my feet up. Before I go through any questions, comments, or concerns, this is the time to do so. So far, we discussed from Genesis 3:15, the Father said to the serpent, there shall be enmity between your seed and the woman's seed on this earth. Let me tell y'all something. Don't be deterred by the rumors of wars. The rumors of wars is the skits you see with this one talking about Putin, Vladimir, and this one talking about that one is. Please, it's just like the same kind of show with the Republicans and the Democrats. Please, please, please. Didn't our king tell us there's going to be wars and rumors of wars? What do you mean rumors of wars? Like I said before, I'm going to say it again. Edom wants you to think that this Edomite tribe going to go against that Edomite tribe and this Edomite tribe. What they're really doing is they're practicing up for the king because they know somebody got beef with them. They know Yasha want his fair one. He going to get his fair one. He going to get it. And he going to catch him off guard. It's going to be a whole sneak joint. And them sneak ones be the stiff, don't they? Not that I felt no sneak one. I ain't never felt no sneak one. I say that humbly. The Most High made sure you protect this jaw because he need this jaw to move for him. You know what I'm saying? But you can just, it's like every time you see one. We was all kids come up in the school in the hallways. Somebody got hit with a stiff one. Dang. That's how the Most High's son going to be Yeshua when he come and see about Esau. He going to straight clock you. Then he going to stomp. He going to trample on you. Somebody need to get a good beat together for that. He going to trample on you. He going to trample on him. He going to trample on you. He going to trample on you. He got Let me get up out of here, y'all. It's getting late. Take my little bed study Bible. Go ahead and relax. It was real. I appreciate the support, which is what I say is I appreciate the respect in my chat. There was a couple of y'all watching tonight, but nobody didn't disrespect me, didn't interrupt. Hey, princess. You got to 10:30. Did I start?
No, it takes like 10 minutes.
All right, 11 o'clock. What is that black thing on my screen? I wonder about that. Hold on, let me see something, y'all. I can only see it on the It's still on there. Probably that one Jezebel trying to send something to me. She married. I was saying right back. All right, y'all. Shalom. Shalom. Peace. Good night. Sweet rest. Love y'all. Those that be in the Father.